Welcome everybody to OP Digital Blueprint. Unfortunately, Collins can't make today, and I'm joined with one of my buddies, Redfern. Hi, Red. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Andy. Good to be here once again on a Tuesday. I do like my Tuesdays with you.
Yeah, all good, all good. So we're gonna quiz you a little bit, and I know you had our venerable CEO in the chair the other day, and that was really good, really worth watching, guys. So if you get the opportunity, go onto the channels and watch that. But tell us a little bit more. Tell us what you got out of it.
Well, let me tell you the story behind it first. Before that, obviously, last Wednesday we had Mufareh on 360, and he was talking, wasn't he, about shine the light and in the chair and all the rest of it. And me and Marty were having a bit of banter about inviting him on. I said, "Do you want to come on mine?" And obviously, it caused a bit of a to and fro between me and Marty, which was fun. Anyhow, subsequently on the Friday, I thought, I'm going to drop him an email and said, listen, I know it's very tongue-in-cheek, but do you fancy coming on in the chair? And he emailed me back and said, yeah, how about tomorrow, which was Saturday. Saturday really wasn't a fantastic day for me because it was my daughter's 40th birthday. And as it transpired, we got something organised for Saturday, but he had other meetings he had to go to. So he said, look, we push it back till Sunday. And I said, yeah, but it's got to be in the evening because I had a Sunday lunch with the family, etc., for the birthday. And we did the interview. But I also had sent him what questions I was going to ask him. Now, you're probably thinking, well, why send in the questions prior to the actual interview itself? And that really, for me, I wasn't there to trip him up. I wasn't there to extract information or anything like that. It really was a little bit more than that. It was to get to know him a little bit more, and the reasons behind why he started Onpassive and how he saw the journey going and what is in store for us all moving forward. And that's kind of how I laid out the questions to him. And if you've seen the interview, you will see that he really liked the format of it, the start, the middle and the ending. And he openly said, didn't he, on the interview, that he really liked it because it made him think once again about the reasons why he started Onpassive and why what was that initial idea behind him going all in to start Onpassive. But one of the interesting parts, if you've seen the interview, is that he actually didn't want to do it himself. He was quite happy to go into partnership, I suppose, with somebody else who would be the face of this company, and he would be the guy behind the scenes funding it and navigating it, steering it, putting the ideas in, so that it would give him the free time as well. Now, that again was something that he talked about, was free time, which we'll get to in a moment. But he couldn't find a company that wanted to do it. I mean, you would have thought there'd be people snapping his hand off, really, weren't there? Wouldn't you? 6 years ago, who'd want to be collaborating with Mufareh, especially with his track record that he had within the industry before Onpassive, which was, he was well regarded as one of the best marketers that were out there. So why wouldn't you want to collaborate with this guy? But anyway, as it transpired, he had to make the very bold and magnanimous and dangerous, I suppose, decision, obviously with the backing of his family, to do it himself. And as he said in the interview, he knew that it was going to cost an awful lot of money and his reputation would probably come into question and all the rest of it. But he thought, if he isn't going to do it, who is? And that was really, for me, one of the big points about the whole interview, is that we really got to know a little bit more about his soul, you know, his ethics about what he really thinks. And it came very apparent during the whole of the interview that everything he does is not for himself. Everything that he does is for the good and benefit, either for other individuals or more specifically, humanitarian and the general public. That is his whole goal of what he's trying to achieve. And again, the questions that I asked, I tried to put them in a way that people got a really good idea of the Onpassive journey from the beginning, what made him almost change direction within the first year or two to go to where we are now looking at going, which is going to be the end of phase 1 and moving into phase 2, because that was always his end goal. His end desire was to have this platform that was all singing and dancing with the IT products that were there, where people can have one single sign in, they can access all sorts of services and solutions within that one environment. But it was also interesting to listen to what gave him the confidence to say, we're actually going to wait. We're not going to launch with that initial platform, the marketing platform that he had in those early year and a half, 2 years, but to actually go all in and to try and make Onpassive in his mind of what he wanted to achieve, which is what we see now. Also, what I thought was very interesting, and about the time element, I said I'd come back to that. The time element is that his end goal not only is to produce a business that is monetary wise successful for its founders, early adopters, affiliates and users, but more importantly is for us to be moving into other areas. Now, he mentioned this towards the end, didn't he? That he said education is definitely going to be one of our strong points, and hopefully with what he knows, and he did re-emphasize this many times, that he knows a lot more than we do, but there is a lot of proprietary information that he can't tell us because he's not allowed to right at this moment. But one of the things he did say is that education, banking, and obviously, what else did he mention? Education, banking, and can't remember the other one, but it doesn't really matter. But one thing he did say as well, which I thought was very interesting, was that he wants to get time freedom back for himself, and he is quite happy and glad, I think, almost listening to him, that his end goal is for him to literally hand the reins of the company to somebody that he trusts so that he can have a bit of time freedom as well. And I absolutely loved how fluid it was. I thought it flowed very well. He looked extremely relaxed, which again is always something that you look for, isn't it, when you're interviewing people, if they're very fidgety or, you know, that it doesn't flow. But he, you know, he really enjoyed himself and he actually wanted to stay longer. But he did say at the beginning, he's loved being there, and maybe you never know, he might do an In the Chair Part 2 in the future at some point. Anyway, back to you, Andy.
I find it fascinating, I must admit, and it was a great interview to say the least, because we get to understand a little bit more about the man behind the vision.
And that's right. Tanya mentioned that communications was the other one. That was it.
Yeah, communicate. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's interesting that throughout my career, I've dealt with an awful lot of presidents, vice presidents, and CEOs, and managing directors, etc. And the vast majority of these guys are very aloof, very focused purely on their business and the money-making side of it, not necessarily their employees and and everything else kind of gets pushed to one side. That's it. This is my little space. Whereas, you know, we get the impression with Ash, and this is one of the reasons I you know, first became part of Onpassive, because I saw a different side to him, and this came out in the interview as well. And it's enlightening to see, you know, it's not about the money. It's about creating something that is going to have a lasting legacy for, like you said, the customers, the affiliates, the early birds, and really the employees of the company, because, you know, these are long term. Always made me giggle when Collins was explaining before. Normally when you have this project that you work on, the software engineers kind of take their time, and because they know as soon as they finish the project they're out of work and they have to go find something else. Whereas Ash has made it very clear to his employees, no, you have a job for life. There will always be something for you to do. We want to keep you. And this is perhaps one of the reasons why they've you know, got to the position that they've got to with the products that we know are already ready to go. Certainly we've, you know, had a glimpse of OConnect and the various extras and add-ons that are in there, which is really cool. But so what for you then, what was the bit about you know, what he sees in the next year or so? He made a very good point about, you know, if the head of Alibaba was saying that, you know, if you look to be successful within a year, it ain't going to happen. 5 to 10 years is the norm, if you like, for any large company to get into that realm. But obviously he had things to say about the 1 year, which is what you asked him. So what was your view of that? What did you get from what he was saying? Because let's, you know, if we go back, we've kind of been there for 4 years already, or 5 years, and many of us 6 years. But and we've seen a glimpse of some of the products that are coming out. So it's not, to my mind, it's not a year. It's now 3 or 4 years we're in. So what are your views on?
Yeah, well, my view of that was, I mean, it was a bit of a leading question anyway, wasn't it, that I asked, and he answered it really from the perspective of somebody starting from scratch, the time period of how long it will take from starting to scratch to become a success in the business that they are doing it. So, for instance, if you came into Onpassive today, how long would it take you to be successful? Blah, 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 blah. But obviously, many of us have been here and on this journey for a long time. So we're not starting from number one, are we? We're starting from, you know, halfway down the track, because not only have we got the experience of the solutions that Onpassive produce, but also we've built organizations within the Onpassive platform, and this is certainly going to springboard us forward and accelerate our time, I suppose, that it's going to be. So, you know, my view of what he was saying was, how long does it take for somebody to be successful, you know, with the 5 to 10 year period? And he was just doing that, in my opinion anyway, from a person brand new starting off, that you can't be successful in a year from 0 to a year. It does take time. You have to build organizations. You have to know your business, and all of this does take time to learn and to build. And I thought that really was what he was trying to put across to us.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like I said, I find it interesting that a man with such a vision and somebody who wants to build this massive business is not thinking about the money side of things. And for some people, it's fairly straightforward for them to be able to earn money, whichever way, shape, or form they do it. But you and I, from totally different backgrounds. Obviously, you were living in Spain. You were a chef. You had a business with the gîtes, didn't you? Or the
glamping.
Yeah, glamping. That's it. And I've travelled and worked in various different countries around the globe over the years as a financial advisor, and become disillusioned over the years about you know, the industry as a whole, and was looking for something else, a bit like you, because again, I know you and Pete were very close, and you'd been into business with Marty before. But it's interesting that the amount that we've actually learned in the last 5 years. I mean, I have no clue when it comes to technologies of you know, software and stuff like that, but I have learned so much, and listening to some of the guys explain things in a way that is layman's terms so that I can understand it is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So this is like a new, or the starting of a new career. Admittedly, you and I should both be retired by now, but it is exciting. Yeah. But it is exciting to be part of that, and to have that you know, get up and go oomph in the morning. I've got something to look forward to. You know, I don't know if you get that as well, but
yeah. I mean, I mean, I get up at stupid times throughout the night, and I always check my phone to see if there is anything to do with Onpassive. Obviously, whilst we're in this waiting period at the moment, that doesn't happen so often, but certainly when everything was working correctly, Christ, I hardly had any sleep at all. You know, it was really, really, for me, a very exciting time. You know, to know that the hard work that I've put into Onpassive over the years was really coming to fruition. You know, all the work that you put into it, you know, gaining the knowledge and tweaking your abilities, all of these things, you know, test you, I suppose. And it was when everything was working correctly, September at the beginning and all the rest of it, for me, that was so exciting. I was like a cat on a hot tin roof, mate. I was all over the place because, you know, things were starting to kick in. And that is going to be the reality moving forward in Onpassive, that the hard work that people have put in, whether it be to learn new skills, i.e. YouTubing and doing lives, or making themselves more exposed, I suppose is the correct terminology for it, whether it is learning to edit, or whether it is learning to market even. You know, all of these skills that you've learned through the journey of Onpassive are going to aid you in your business. And I think that's part and parcel of the beauty. I mean, one of the businesses I was involved in with Marty was actually a guy teaching us how to make a YouTube channel, teaching us how to market that channel on other social media platforms. Now, I've learned way more with Onpassive because I've been given the freedom to try out stuff, or people have helped me, you know, doing backgrounds, doing editing, what the best software or programs are that you can get to help you with whatever you're doing. And I've also learned as well a bit about myself as far as being on screen. I mean, when I first started, and I'm sure everybody who has ever done a live or done a video, the number one thing is you can't stand looking at yourself, and you certainly can't stand hearing yourself at the beginning. But the more that you do it, the more repetitive you become. You become very relaxed in front of a camera. It's just, you know, you're just at a meeting. I'm here on screen with Andy. You know, I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm not looking at who's there. Yes, I look at the chat and maybe answer some questions or whatever it may be. And that is a true testament for me of what Onpassive has enabled so many to do. And that is not only to encourage all of us to get out of our comfort zone, to try something new, to give it a go, believe that it is possible, because I'm sure you know, me and Andy didn't start off being on bloody YouTube. That's not how we started. You know, I'm a chef by trade. You know, if you want to come to the kitchen, I can show you how to cook. It's not a problem. But I would never have thought that I would be in a position like I went over today, of having a YouTube channel that's got 50,000 subscribers to it. You know, that I never set out in Onpassive to be that guy. Am I glad? Yeah, absolutely, because it gives me more exposure. It certainly does. But I've had the ability to do that because I've been given it the free reign from Onpassive, who say, yeah, go on, Red, you get out there, give it a go. Why not? You know, if you've got something of value to give to people that is to do with Onpassive, then you crack on, you have a good go at it. And that's what I love about it, is that we've all learned so much along this journey, haven't we? It's not just about what we are going to make monetary wise from it. I really do believe that Onpassive has enhanced our lives immensely in all sorts of areas. The people we've met, the new abilities that we've learned. Obviously, the monetary side is going to make a massive effect to so many people, you know, and to be able to be part of a business, to see the journey from start to finish, to be able to tell our stories as well, that is a very, very special thing. And I don't think we'll ever get that chance or see that opportunity again.
I agree. I mean, you mentioned about learning what things like editing and putting videos together. You know, I started it self-taught, like many of us, and made a right hash of the first one and thought, I can do better than this, and tried again and tried again. So so I've learned how to do videos. I've learned how to do a little bit of editing. I've like you say, set up a YouTube channel. I don't have the 50,000 subscribers, but at the end of the day, it's been fun because we've got out of the comfort zone that we've known so much. So yes, I'm a numbers guy, and I'm a numbers guy because as a kid I was dyslexic and hopeless with English. So trying to do things like this is just not my way of coping with things. It's not the easy way to do it. But as I said, this has been a phenomenal journey for me to be able to put stuff together, to start learning new things. And I think there's going to be an awful lot of affiliates that come and join us at some point in the future and actually regret not being part of this initial journey, because this has been, for me, one of the biggest learning curves I've had in my life. As I said, numbers were easy. That's dead easy. And I used to do examinations with the numbers without doing any, revision on it. I could do that, not a problem. Yeah. But when it comes to learning, I think I took English 7 times, by the way. I was hopeless. But, doing this stuff now, it's great. I love it because you're learning different aspects, different bits. But the one thing I do love about Onpassive more than anything is the fact that it's going to be able to do the bits that I just don't understand how to do. So it still allows me to be successful even though I can't do that bit. Marketing is such a specialist environment, and if you get it wrong, it can cost you a fortune. You know, in the run up to the finishing date of the founders, the early birds, if you like, I've spent thousands on marketing, trying to find a way of being able to build or find others that had the interest and had the vision and saw the vision that I saw. I failed abysmally, but spent thousands in the process. And the bit that excites me more than anything else about Onpassive is that's the bit they're good at, and they're going to be able to help me do that. Yeah. So
You know, I mean, Ash did. Before I just say, Raheem Sheikh is his fourth anniversary of being a founder. Congratulations! I said I would say hello to him. There you go. That's my bit done. Ash actually did say this, didn't he, right at the beginning, that he has been extremely successful as a marketer in the past, and this exactly what you're saying, Andy, is that we've got all that to come. You know, we've got the bit that he is really good at, and we're going to see that. You know, when you've got Ash Mufareh, who is a super marketer, you know, he any business that he got involved with, he was the top affiliate in all of them because he knew how to market in one way, shape, or form, and he knows how to do exactly the same for us in Onpassive. And that's going to be a very, very exciting time. And especially when he was talking about the change in ways on one of the 360s, on how marketing has changed really from the old days of email marketing and click ads and, you know, all the rest of the things that used to be available to people now is completely changed. And I'm really excited to see how that's all going to pan out. But I know one thing's for sure is because he's doing it for the benefit of us, it is directly going to affect us because we are the ones that are going to benefit the most. And that's really, for me, is going to be the exciting part.
yeah, excellent. I love it. And I know you made a comment earlier on about, you know, getting on screen. One of the easiest things I found about getting on screen is the fact that I'm having a conversation with you, Red. To my mind, there's no one else watching. I know there are now, but I'm just having a conversation with you. And so anyone looking to come forward, you've got to take that into consideration. You're part of a group. Even on the heroes, when we have heroes, there's a maximum number of people on the screen at any one point in time, and I think it's about 30 anyway. So all you're doing is talking to those 30 people. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
And this I find so easy because it's just like having a conversation with you and Collins or you and Marty or Robin or whoever comes on. It's just that little conversation. So this is actually easy. The bit that I really enjoyed doing was when we had the two events that we've had in the UK, and you get up and you speak in front of these people. And the one we had at Manchester, how many did we have in the room? 300? There were 300 in the room.
Yeah, 350. Yeah, 300 plus. 350, I think it was.
Yeah, 3,000 on Zoom and 90 odd thousand on YouTube. Something ridiculous like that. But again, I'm talking to one person in the audience because that's all I'm focused on, and that makes it so much easier to do. So, like I said, anyone wanting to come forward and you know, put themselves out there, you've just got to think of it that way and nothing else. It makes life so much easier. Any final comments from you, Red?
It does. Yeah, my final comments is if you've watched the Ash interview that I did with him, you should be really confident and excited at the moment. You know, we've been given a good timeline, whether it be this week, whether it be the end of September, or whether it be the end of November. We've waited all this time, and in reality terms, it doesn't really matter if it is 3 months. I know we don't want it. We want it to be this week. I certainly do. And many of us are, you know, we are hurting at the moment, and we need Onpassive to get going. But I know one thing's for sure. It is going to happen. You should be excited about it. And more importantly, especially after listening to our CEO on the interview, for the things that are going to be coming up for us. Onpassive really is much more than just a digital product solution company. It's going to be almost to the point of revolutionary with other things that it is going to do. The OES platform that we see right now really is just the tip of the iceberg as far as the business is concerned. There's going to be some very exciting things coming along, and obviously our CEO will let us know all about that when he is able to. But get ready, guys. Use this time wisely. Get everything that you can possibly do in order, and I mean by any documentation that you might need for doing KYC, making sure all your email accounts that are with your OES are active and they're not going to run out. Like I said, if you're using a Gmail, one Gmail will last 2 years without it being active. Just try at least to do it once a month and send yourself an email just to keep that account active. I do it just once a month. I do a test to all my accounts just to keep it active, because one thing's for sure is when it gets going, you want to be out those starting blocks. You don't want to be having problems logging in because you've lost your password to get to your Gmail, to get this, that, and the other. We don't want to be doing that. Use your time wisely. That's my best advice I can give you at the moment.
Thanks, Red. I think the phrase, and Comfort knows this one very well, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So guys, yes, absolutely. Spend the time. Yeah. Spend the time getting ready, because when it goes, it's just going to go like a mushroom cloud and you're going to go, oh my God, what's going on? So thanks for joining us. There will be no OP3 OP digital blueprint next Tuesday.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Right. So there's no OP digital blueprint next Tuesday. I'm on holiday. I've got a holiday. Thank you. So enjoy, guys, and we shall come back the following week. Thank you again, Red, for joining us. Great interview, guys. If you haven't seen it,
you're welcome, my friend.
Am I having trouble with this thing or what? Anyway, thank you all. See you again soon.